Member for Emuhaya.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me a chance to weigh in on this bill by Honorable, which tries to mitigate the challenges that are in the border, not only border, but both two-wheeled and three-wheeled. Three-wheeled would refer to what we call the tuk-tuk motor vehicles on our roads. Honorable Speaker, in my opinion, there must have been a gap, and all the time we make laws to fill gaps that are existing. And the Honorable Member saw clearly that there was a gap in existence insofar as regulation of these two-wheeled and three-wheeled vehicles was concerned. And that is why he came up with this particular law. We have been told by the chair of the committee and the committee members that there's an existing law which has not been implemented. But when you look at the dire situation that the border and all that section of the three-wheel, two-wheel vehicles require and urgently need, then you realize that the Honorable Member had a serious reason and has done everything correct in order to see to it that this sector is regulated. In my own county, Honorable Speaker, and a constituency in Muhaya, there's a very well-organized border arrangement, and with their general chairman at the county level. But severally they have visited me. The last time they spoke to me, they were telling me that they have a policy that is lying within the assembly of the county government. And the county government is unable to do anything about that particular policy. But that policy would bring about self-regulation and order within the sector. Partly, Honorable Speaker, why this is happening is because the border regulation has never been implemented, if it is there. It's now for the first time after this Honorable Member has brought about this matter that now we are being told, and now we are aware, that there's a regulation which is not implemented. But Honorable Speaker, even the law that is governing this sector, by the time it was made, there were certain things that had not happened within this sector of border. For instance, the law that is existing and which has been talked about by the committee very clearly was made much earlier than the time when boda became a passenger carrier. During that particular time, the piki or boda were not carrying passengers. And at the same time, the tuk-tuk were not possibly carrying passengers and they were not in the country. Making of laws must be a dynamic process which is driven by need. And I think this is why the Honorable Member has brought this particular bill to this particular House, that things have changed since the time when you saw the piki not carrying passengers. Now they are carrying passengers. Look at this. That how is the licensing of a PSV motor vehicle driver done? There's a certain threshold of experience that this person must have in order to get a license. And this is because this particular person is going to carry human beings, and therefore they need to have some extra ordinary assessment of his skills in driving. What about boda? We don't have a threshold because we don't have policy, we don't have regulation, and regulation, if it's existing, like we have been told, is not implemented. So I think there's really need to consider this law on the floor of this House very, very fairly, without simply saying that there's duplication of the law. Honorable Speaker, if you go to Thailand, for instance, this boda industry is not only a Kenyan situational problem or challenge. In Thailand, where the population is about 47 million people, there are over 30 million bodabodas on the road. But there's no any disagreement or disorder in Thailand courtesy of bodabodas on the road. In Kenya, where we have 47 million Kenyans existing here, Honorable Speaker, and the House should listen to this, we only have 5 million bodabodas on the road. But we are already complaining that there's chaotic, every complaint, yet this is a sector that is driving the local economy back at home. In fact, in my own county, whenever I meet the bodabodas, I tell them that you have taken over the teachers. Formerly in the 1970s, 80s, there were teachers who controlled the local economy. Today, it is boda that controls the local economy. So, to bring order within this particular sector, this law was not a bad law. When I rose on a point of order against senior counsel, Honorable Speaker, I did not want to interfere with senior counsel, but I wanted to ask senior counsel, who spoke just after me.
Senior counsel are you referring to? This House has many senior counsels.
The senior most who is here and who spoke on this matter, Honorable Speaker.